Hey, you can have great food, great staff, even great reviews, but 80% of restaurants still fail. And after running 12 successful restaurants, here are the 6 reasons why most restaurants fail. And it's not what you think. And of course, I'll share with you what you can do to beat those statistics and actually succeed. And this is the #1 reason why most restaurants fail, and they don't even realize it's happening. They got the passion, the vision, the food, maybe even the right people, but no real grip on their numbers. They're running on gut instinct or the belief that they know their data. And it just does not work when margins are razor thin. And they just are in the restaurant game. And I noticed because it nearly killed our first restaurant. And I started just like most owners, full of vim and vigor, all the passion in the world, make the best food, zero awareness. We'll figure it out. I mean, the place is filled. We gotta be killing it, right? Yeah. We were making decisions based on gut, not on numbers. And that worked until it didn't. The truth is, most owners vastly underestimate what it really costs to survive and have little to no awareness of what it costs to really get to that next level, to have financial independence and freedom. Barely enough awareness to even get to their first year. They have very loose par controls. They're not aware of what's going into the bank versus what's coming out of the bank. And of course, wasted, spoilage, and all the theft potential that they do not have their eyes on, along with an improperly priced menu. They start undercapitalized before they even really get their footing because their food is being priced without proper percentages and with no gamification to the menu strategy. So even when the restaurant looks busy, they're losing money. So here's what changed it for me. We stopped guessing. Stopped relying on, oh, well, the point of sale says this, or our CPA said this in a QuickBooks file 3 months later. Started tracking everything from the weekly food cost to a daily P&L to a weekly to a 13-month, not 12-month. So we had true financial period-to-period clarity with exceptionally tight par controls. Then building out meticulously costed out recipe build-out cards for the menu pricing, completely different than the operational build cards for our guys on the line to use. And then of course we had to negotiate vendor contracts to get significantly better pricing, which was very hard as a single store. And I had to think about it in a different way, like it was life or death, because in that scenario, if you were living your business, it is. And because I was living my business, I figured it out. And that's how I turned a high volume loss into a profitable machine. And if you want to learn how to exactly do that for your food cost and lower it while also calculating what it should be, then I suggest you watch this video on how to save money on restaurant food cost while increasing profit. Next, a weak or non-existent marketing strategy. Because here's the truth, great food will not save you if no one even knows you exist. But our customers love us. Cool, these do. What about all the people who don't know you exist? What are we doing for them? The myth, build it and they will come, is not true.
If you build it, he will come.
It works in baseball and cornfields, not in restaurants. It is one of the biggest lies in our industry. Unless you're on 14th and 9th and you're the new hotness in the meatpacking district and you don't have to do anything because people are just gonna talk about you, maybe, but that ain't you most likely, right? You gotta make sure other people know you. You have to market, you have to do more. If you think everyone knows about you, they don't. Do more, and do more with a plan, with a presence, with a strategy. Because we've been in that situation when it was crickets and we needed revenue. So I figured out how to do this for zero money because I didn't have money to spend on it. And that's what kills restaurants over and over again, is simply relying on word of mouth and hoping that that's gonna do the job with zero system for how to grow that word of mouth. Their Google My Business, their Yelp listing, their TripAdvisor listing is broke or half-assed or non-existent. You gotta start thinking like a brand. And so many owners do it. They're throwing money at Facebook ads with no real good creative, dropping money, not expecting or even knowing if this will generate an ROI. And I had to give up on all that and start thinking like an owner of a proper brand. And as an owner of a proper brand, I had to reformat everything. That meant building email lists, capitalizing upon them, relying on urgency in the call to action, storytelling in anything we put out there, creating local buzz by generating human connection without spending money. Again, because I didn't have it. The social media of the time, whether it's Facebook back then, Twitter, and now that much more Instagram, had to become a social magnet. And now we weren't praying for foot traffic, we were holding it back because we had created human connection. And also, if you need help with your restaurant marketing, I think you'll like this video. Here are the best marketing strategies to start implementing now in your business. Next, a complete lack of systems and training. When you do that, it's not a business, it's a trap.
We train all the time. They come, they kind of watch me on the line, and then if they get it, they get it. If they don't,
We just let him go.
That's not a system. That's not training. A restaurant without finite protocols turns into chaos like that. And because it all relies on you, you burn out and it's your fault. And you're then thinking, but who else am I going to have do it? Everyone does it wrong. That's when you have ego taking over and you're not relying on systems because you're so afraid of it failing. People quit, you burn out, staff ain't into it, and the customer feels all of it. And that's where most owners fall short. They don't have SOPs, mostly because they never were trained on how to create them. And therefore, no one really knows what they should do or how to get things done. Watch that guy and figure it out becomes the official mantra of the business, and it does not work. It works for a few people who are just aware and very quick at learning stuff, and that's not enough. It just is not. And those people tend to do it their way, and now you got a bunch of rogue agents. And because you did it, it feels like you're in control, but you're not. You're letting it slip away from you because you're holding on so tight. You find yourself in the driver's seat, holding the driver's wheel, trying to say to everyone in the car, okay, now you drive, while you're still in the seat, still holding the wheel. It does not work. Trust me, I've tried. With one restaurant, like a backpack, I got this. Two backpacks, no problem. 5 restaurants, 5 backpacks. I can handle the weight. At some point, you move slow. Other people are saying, come on, let us help you. And you're like, no, I got it. And no one wins. The ego is fulfilled and you are burnt out. Your greatness has to be defined by the greatness of those you train. When they're great, that means you're great because we're great. And once I started building those systems, that's when scaling, true profit started to occur. The businesses didn't just run better. In many instances, they ran without me. I didn't have to make the prep. I didn't have to talk to that customer. I didn't have to do it all for it to all work. I was there. I was present. I'm still present. I'm still available, but I'm not needed. And that's the difference. Because I stopped putting out fires and then instead made a fireproof system. And let me say this, you don't have to build this system alone. I did. It sucked. I don't want that for you. I've helped hundreds of owners take my systems and apply it to their own brand, done their own way, with their own values, with their menu. And it worked because human connection, systemization, and belief in people is not relegated to any one style of food. It's not relegated to any one region of the world. It's all about mindset and it's all about execution. So book your free restaurant review call, links in the description, and let's talk about what you're gonna do to get you to that goal. All right, the next is a restaurant with no clear concept or brand. Restaurants that try to please everyone end up pleasing no one. A fuzzy concept is really hard on the customer because it's not obvious. There's no real easy understanding of why should I go here when. Yorkshire Cafe, where we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Italian and Asian fusion. It's just too much. You've seen these places where it's like, what do you do? What do you sell? Let's get that out of the way right now. You are not Cheesecake Factory. Don't try to be Cheesecake Factory. Own being the best at one thing first before you even think of moving on. You wouldn't start out playing Stairway if you've never mastered Mary Had a Little Lamb. The same applies to restauranting. Because when you do that, you just become a food place. You create no connection. There is no real reason to go back, and then customers don't. But we can do anything, but you can't do anything great. And in this industry, that is a slow death. Every one of my restaurants has a clear call to action with a very clear concept. And I've screwed this up, truth be told. I try to put a hat on a hat thinking, oh yeah, but it kind of works. It doesn't. Make it tight, make it clear. At my first restaurant, we sold Asian shrimp rolls on an Italian menu because they were dope. I loved them. Like, just sell them. They're great. Doesn't make sense. Don't do that. I had to stop trying to be everything to everyone with a menu of 40 different sandwiches because if we can make it, why not? No, all killer, no filler. And when we did that, that's when things took off. The next failure point is the failure to adapt. The world will change. It has changed and it will change again. The guests' proclivity towards different habits will change. Pre-post COVID, whether it was pickup, online ordering, dine-in, that's changed. Platforms changed, whether it was Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever comes next. And a lot of owners get locked in to the way things used to be. I didn't have to do that. We used to make tons of money. This new thing, it ain't for me. The owner that ignores third-party delivery, the owner that ignores true online ordering, the owner that ignores protocols that create more revenue in the modern era. They're not responding to reviews. They're not doing social media. They dismiss anything that feels new because, that's not for me, which is really their lazy and scared way of saying, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable, so I'm not even gonna try. And as a result, they fall behind. And I get it. When something ain't your thing, you're like, I don't know, and there's a little bit of resistance. When it came to having a real bar at our second restaurant, I was apprehensive. I don't know how to really deal with all that. What are we gonna run into? Maybe that's not for us. When I realized, oh wow, that's the wisest decision for our brand. Let's learn how to run the most effective bar. That's what we did. Because you might feel reluctant to switch to anything that's not on brand, or just really what you're not comfortable with. But when you dive into the wisest decision, not the comfortable decision, it always feels better. Your comfort zone will not protect you. And once I learned that, whether it was third-party delivery, tighter online ordering, or all the other things with weddings that we do today, which again, did not feel comfortable at first, we monetized at a significantly higher level. And guests found us more easily and our reputation grew. Because I'll tell you, one thing that does not change over time is human connection. And as AI and computers and all of tech gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the thing people are gonna thirst for more is that human connection. And you as an independent restaurant owner have that in droves if you take it in any of your revenue streams, even if it is third-party delivery. There's a way to be human, whether it's leaving a note or connecting with the driver that's going to take this food on your behalf. Human connection is how we win. Hey, and very soon I'm making a video on all things third-party delivery and your own delivery and how you're going to monetize it the best way possible. Subscribe so you get that video. Next, bad location decisions. Bad locations are more than just a bad decision. It's something that is systemic and will lead to more bad choices. I've seen many owners with a great product that they choose to position in the wrong part of town or in an area that they believe is going to be super popular, but it's just not associated with food, and they die a slow death because there is no demand, or people just don't associate that area with food purchasing or going out to eat. The owner thought, well, this is the cheapest rent, or, well, the population density is insane, and as a result, they made a bad decision. It could be something even as simple as it's not easy to access the area, so people don't go. Even though they drive by it, maybe there's not a left-hand turn into that complex. As a result, it's harder to get to unless people go there. And once they're there, or they think they're doing great, they expand into a second location too soon, making a naive decision and not matching brand with the first location because they're not really thinking out what made location 1 successful before they go to location 2, which is vastly different than location 1. This is a very common mistake. Growth without a foundation or awareness of what made you a success is a fast way to burn out and to lose any future success. So whether it's choosing your first location or expanding into other locations, you have to be aware of what is going to have high visibility and easy access that matches brand and generates revenue. And it's not always going to be the cheapest rent or what seems like the best location. You have to think harder about it because a business's success is not luck. It has to be systemized and it has to be focused. And for years, I've struggled with these exact systems, with these problems. I've learned my lesson. This location I'm talking to you right now is on a one-way street. I might not have done that if I could choose this again. Little things that you realize over time compounding, and they're all part of Unsliced. These are the issues that I've dealt with, and now, because of those lessons, I'm able to build 12 successful restaurants with a 21-year track record of success, taking everything from those experiences and applying them to the restaurants. And not just that, the Unsliced Restaurant System, which you can have now to take those experiences and fast track you and your restaurant brand success ASAP. It's what's helped countless other restaurant owners either turn their restaurant around or get them to their goals that much quicker without just being another restaurant statistic. And if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, and I think it is, the link is in the description. And I implore you, say nope to the past and yes to the future, because when you do that, we'll be here ready to rock with you. Catch you on the next one.